Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you all are good. So today here we are back with a new video on our architecture series, and this video is going to be on ramps. So when it comes to ramps, people find difficulty even though the concept of stairs as well as the ramp is similar, but still there's something which bothers everyone. So let us understand how the ramp modeling works in Revit. So you will find the option of ramp in architecture tab. Once you click over here, there are these generic settings that comes for all the elements in Revit. Level 0, level 1, and whatever offset you want to define from level 0, that you can do it. After that, what should be the graphics, how the up text should be indicated, down text, and what should be the width of the ramp. But here, when we come inside, we need to understand one thing. As of now, there are only two levels, level 0 as well as level 1. So Revit is saying that the maximum incline length can be of 12 meters. So when I say 12 meters, it means that one segment of a ramp. Okay, if I draw it here on paint, consider that this is one segment of ramp. So here this one segment of a ramp will be of 12 meters, and then there has to be a landing, a straight portion. After that, again, this another segment of 12 meter will continue. Okay, so this is the maximum. If you want to break this segment of 12 meter, then what you can do is you can simply reduce it. Okay, but again, what will happen? Revit says that one segment patch to max inclined length will be of 12 meter. After that, Revit will include a landing that will be the straight portion, which will not have any inclination. Okay, now this is the ramp maximum slope. So now here what is happening, if you go in the elevation, and if I erase this, if you go in elevation, if this is the segment of the ramp in elevation, what is happening? This slope will be 1 is to 12. Okay, so now with respect to the ground, this will be 1 is to 12. If you go on increasing this slope, what will happen? The length of this ramp will go on increasing. The length of this ramp will go on increasing. If you want a steeper slope, this will come down to 6, and then this length of the segment will also eventually reduce. Okay, so this is with respect to the ramp. For example, now we'll keep the default settings to understand how exactly it works. And when it comes to ramp, again, there are two options. One is the run, which is the automated option. Revit will calculate everything. For example, I am defining the settings here. I am defining the boundary of the ramp as well as the run together, which consists of rises also. So what is happening? Out of 48,000, what I have done, I have defined 4,500. Okay, so now you remember this 48,000 figure, which is indicated just below here. Okay, this is how much? 43,500. Now 4,500 inclination I have drawn. So this figure is coming based on this maximum slope. Okay, if I reduce this a bit, what will happen now? If I reduce this a bit, what will happen now? So here, if I go and reduce this to 6, see what will happen. This figure has come down. This figure has come down, and the total length consisting of all the segments in ramp will be of 19.5 meters. Why? Because I have reduced the maximum inclination slope. Okay, so here Revit has given us the error. I think I have to resubmit it again. So yes, I had restarted Revit, and here, yes. So I hope you have understood how the slope will impact the overall uh, how the slope will impact the overall length of the ramp. And now it's time for creation. For example, consider that you are creating the ramp and somehow you have decided that this landing has to be of this much length. Okay, so when it comes to landing and when it is a turning, for example, you want to turn your ramp from this side, okay, after giving a landing. So what you will make sure, as you over your cursor, what will happen, there are three lines that comes in. Okay, so if you take the middle one and if you try to tell Revit that this portion has to be a landing, what will happen, Revit will create unusual boundary. Okay, so in order to escape this, what you will be doing, in order to escape this, what you will be doing, so what you will do, once you go to ramp, and as I said, you want to turn the ramp, and in between that turning there has to be a landing. So you will make sure that you are there, and like your cursor is sitting right onto the line which is closer to your screen, I mean the south end, and then you bring the ramp. So what will happen, Revit will give you a proper turning with this much portion of landing, and then this is again the inclination. Okay, so how to understand, for example, now I cannot see any Revit boundary here. So Revit is saying that this is the inclination, this is the inclination of 1700 that has been drawn, and whatever portion I will be drawing now, that portion will be of landing. For example, if I say that, if I decide that here this much has to be the landing, so now again I see the ramp boundaries. Okay, ramp boundary as well as uh, the the middle line is the SketchUp, the sketch line, which will connect the start boundary as well as the end boundary. Okay, so as you can see the edges of, I mean, you can see the boundaries of the ramp. This is the inclination. Also, on my left, when I over here, you can see that this is 6,200 something. So now this much portion from here to here will be for landing, and whatever portion I am drawing, it is indicated by this figure 2,500. See here. Now this much portion is landing, and this is the inclination. So if what if I want to add a curve here? So in order to add a curve here, first you have to set the center point, and once you define the center point, what will happen, let me define the center point here. Okay, I will define the center point here, and now again I am making sure that I am selecting, like I am very near to the inside boundary of the ramp, and again the same thing, and from this point to this point they will be landing, and this is my inclination now. You see how quickly Revit has drawn the landing, which is from this side to this side. Still there is how much, still there is this 27,000 liter of length is remaining. If I want to reduce this a bit, I will say a bit that give the slope. Okay, so now let me change this because the figure has come in negative. Okay, so now how much, 3.4 meter of ramp is remaining. So now here I will again go to ramp, and then I will go for a straight portion. If I go for a straight portion, this is how my ramp will be completed. And then if I go to 3D, this is how you see that the ramp has been created. Yes, now the keyboard is responding, and see here, this is how a ramp has been created. What if your client gives you an unusual profile? What if there are different geometry of ramp? In that case, you can go for a boundary. So when you go for a boundary, again the concept will remain same. You will define the two sides of the boundary, and then whatever curve you want to create, again you will decide how much curve you want, and then what will happen, Here I have taken the boundary option. So if you want to split the boundary, you will go to boundary, and this time again, you will select the center point if you are going for this, and then you define what will be your endpoint and press TR for trim, and you can give an offset, or else just extend this over here. So what offset you will give first? Let me find out. The distance repeat is 800. So if you copy this and you place this to 800, what will happen? You can use the trim command to trim this. Now you can see here that there is the opening here. So now this opening has to be closed using a riser. When you close this using a riser, what will happen? What will happen? Or else what you can do is you can lose this option here. Okay, let this be. Oh, this is fine. So I have closed the starting as well as the ending of the ramp with a riser, and then if I close it, Revit will create the stairs for me. And these stairs, I didn't use the run option, I have used the geometry. So using the geometry also, you can create a ramp. But the only condition is what? The boundaries has to be green in color, and for that you will take the boundary option, and in between wherever you want to give a riser, you will use this. For example, if I want to divide this segment here, I will simply press it. I will simply include a riser, and Revit will include a straight portion. Okay, Revit has included a straight portion from here to there. Okay, so now this is about ramp, and when it comes to ramp, in a similar manner, you will be receiving details from the client. So based on the details, like with respect to site conditions, how they will be marking on site. So all the radius as well as width and the straight segment, the curved segment, all the information will be provided. Taking those information into consideration, you can create a beautiful map. All right, so this is it, learners. Let us rise and shine together. I hope this video was useful to you. Let us meet again next week with a new video on railings. Thank you so much.